Hello traders. Let us take a look at what we are expecting for tomorrow. What are the support resistance areas for tomorrow? And let us again start at the monthly chart like we do all the time. So here we see that the monthly chart has become bullish. As of today, it is at the highest point of the month, and we need to remember all these lines that we have down below. When the price starts to come down, they may act as areas of support. I will keep the main support at this 5577 area, because if this area breaks down, we can have further breakdown to the 5524 to the 29 area, given that we can break down this 5555 or the 5550 area. This 5575 area is actually the midpoint of the last month, which we have broken out of, and we have moved quite a bit up. So looking at the monthly chart, it simply looks like that it is going to come and hit the top of this range at this point of time. However, we also need to make sure that we know that this 5590 is the midpoint of this monthly channel, and if it breaks down once again, then we may find an opportunity to come till the 75 area at least, and then we can see if the market is getting down from there, coming to the 5550 area, and then continuing into the 5533 area. Now, looking at the weekly chart, if you see here, this week has actually gapped up a bit, thus creating a micro gap here between 83.5 and 78. So there is always a possibility that bulls will be available in this whole area between 82 and 66. So we will have to take care of that when we are looking at the weekly chart. On the upside, if we are looking at this whole range and we drew the fib yesterday, we are above the 79% line, which is at 5597. Now we have to see whether we can get to the 89%, which is 5657, and from there we may actually start getting above that and try to come and hit this 5724, which is the all-time high. Now if the price comes down, this 2021 area may actually work as an area of support. If that breaks down, then we can come down below this whole box at 5610, and then we may come down to the 79 area. Now if this red box fails, I am thinking that we may come and visit the 5570 one more time, and then we can see if we are bouncing from here or the market is trying to break down these areas and then continue to the prices to the downside. As of now, we will have to see whether we go up to the 38 to the 40 area in the 5600 level, and then we can see whether we are continuing up from there and trying to get to this 89% and then to the all-time high again. Let us look at the daily chart right now. So on the daily chart, what we can see, we have a double top right here at the 5630 area. Now this may be a very good spot for a pullback, but we have to see that the major areas are taken out overnight. Even if we come down to the 5585 to the 5578 area, we may actually bounce from there, get above 5600, and then continue up from this 5630 line and get to this 5565 area, or maybe to the 5650 area that we were looking at yesterday. On the downside, if we break down this areas, there is a good possibility that we come and revisit this 65, and once we are below this 65, we may come and test this 5534 area again and then see if we are breaking down. However, what I see here, that we have broken out of this particular trend line, and then we had one follow through, we had the second follow through, so there is a chance that we can keep going on the upside. But if you see, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 days in a row that are bullish, and there may be a strong pullback at any point of time. So we have to be careful about that. Once you see that this daily micro gap is being taken out, become very careful and suspicious about the upside, as long as we do not close above that 560203 area again. I will also keep this 5609.25 line here, and that will be the line where we will cross down from this particular trend line that we have, and once we cross down from there, break down the 5600 and then come towards the 8990 area. Maybe that is a spot where we can get into some shorts and can target the 87 and then the 75 areas again. Now, if we look at the daily ATR, the ATR was at 70 points. So if we measure how much we moved today from the bottom here, we will see that we have moved around 64 points to the top. Now, if we are looking for another 60 to 70 point move from the close of today, that will bring us to the 5685 area, and 70 point will take us almost to the 5700 area. So it is highly possible that we have a climactic bar tomorrow and the price shoots up from here and reaches the 5722 at one go. On the 4-hour chart, we did reach our 5630 level, which was the 1:1 of this wedge breakout move that we had. And now if you see, we do have another wedge created here, and 5610 is the area where the price will fall below the wedge again. At that point of time, we will have to see that if we are getting captured by the bulls again in the 55.99 to the 55.73 area. Also, along with that, we have to keep in mind that there is this particular trend line which may act as a support here once we break down from this 5610 area, and we can bounce from there again and keep going on the higher side. If you also see here, the 2:1 of this particular move will actually bring us to the all-time high here at 5724.5. Now, all that remains to be seen is that we get above this 5630 line again, cross above 40. Our first target will be this 21% area, which is at 5650, and then we can continue up towards the 5661 line and finally to the 5667 line here. And it does not need to stop there, right? This will be the 1:1.5 of this whole move, and it can keep continuing to go up and reach the 5724 to make the 2:1. On the downside, on the 4-hour chart, I'll need to see that this bottom trend line is broken down. Once the bottom trend line is broken down, we will still be in the part of this channel. However, looking at how the chart is moving, it is highly possible that we can come to the midpoint of this channel. We need to keep an eye on this line. We do not know when it will be touched, but whenever it touches, we need to make sure that we know that this midpoint of the line is getting touched. And crossing above that and crossing above the all-time high, there is a possibility that we can come and hit the top of this channel, and we can get rejected from there and have some pullbacks. So as of now, there is no bearishness in the market. If you see, this was the first leg down that we had in a pullback. We went up and we had a second leg down, and now this was your first entry long. This is your second entry long, and we are in that particular move at this point. We can also draw another wedge line here to see that if we are moving sideways all night, overnight, and then in the morning we start bouncing again, we get above this line and then come and finally touch this line somewhere. On the downside, I would want to see that this bull flag area is being taken out, which is at 55.68 on the 4-hour chart, or the 55.65 that also can be targeted. If we are breaking that down, our first target will be the 55.56 area, then the 55.47 to the 55.34 area. And I am suspecting that even if the price comes down here, there may be bulls available here. If bulls are not available in this area and we get below this 4-hour double top breakdown again, then we may come down to the 5526 areas, 5517 areas, and finally we may see the 5492 area as well. But that is a long shot at this point of time, and we will take a look at it when that time comes. But we need to keep in mind all these lines that are there below in the 4-hour chart, and if we see that we are bouncing from any of these, we will know that what is happening here. Now let us take a look at the 1-hour chart. In the 1-hour chart, we see that we are above the midpoint of the channel, which is currently at the 5623 area. So we will have to see whether we are breaking down from this channel, or we are trying to take the price up from the high of today, and we are trying to get to this 35 area, then the 43 area, and then the 53 area. These will be the targets on the upside once we start moving above the high of today. So all this move is also possible in the overnight hours during the London hours and the Asia hours. I personally trade in the morning. So again, I will take a look at what has happened overnight, and I will see that where the price is, and if the price has a chance to come down, I will wait for a wedge formation somewhere, a bottom wedge, and see if the price is trying to go up from there, either creating an outside up bar or a very strong inside bar like we had today morning, and then we can bounce from there, get above the high of today, and then continue to the upside. Now, if this particular red candle works as a bull flag, then the target of that will be the 5639 area, which we already have as one of the targets. And once we get to this 5639 area and we keep going up, maybe we will get to that 5650 area and then climb up higher to get this 5667, 5684, and then finally to the 5709 areas. These targets are highly possible if the bulls keep on going higher. Now on the downside, again, this 5610 will be a very good support for the bulls. If you see here, there has been multiple confluences at this point. So this 5610 area or the 5611 area can be a very good support for the bulls. If this support is broken down, we will come somewhere in this bull flag. And if this 56 And if this 5593.75 area is broken down and the 5590 is also broken down, I would actually put a line here at 5590 for the hourly chart. If we break this down, then there's a big possibility we come down to the 84 to the 87 area and finally to the 75 area once again. Now if we break this down, we will have to see whether we are getting to the bottom of this channel, and if the bottom of this channel is broken, then we will have to decide how far the price can go at that point of time. Now let us take a look at the RTH 5-minute chart. If you see here, we went above this box. This was a very good support. After that, we came inside this box and we start climbing up again. So this is the area where I would like price to revisit if the price wants to pull back, and then we may bounce from here, or we will or we will keep getting down from here and get to the 5565 areas, 5550 areas, and then to the 5540s and the 30s subsequently. And finally, we may come to this RTH gap, which is at 5526. And if we break that down, there is a possibility that we will try to close this whole gap down and come to the 5488 to the 5492 area. But that will be almost a 150 point drop, and I am not expecting that at this point of time. But you never know. The market is in a crazy bullish move, and if there is a rug pull short at this point of time tomorrow, then we may actually traverse this whole path down and violate all these support areas. So what I am actually thinking is we may come and take support in the 9.3 to the 9.5 area, stay in this kind of a TR the whole night, create a few hourly legs down, and then we start bouncing from here again tomorrow morning and reach this RTH double bottom breakdown, get above it, get to the 4.3 and the 6.5 levels again. So these are the estimates that I am looking on the upside for the bulls. There is a big possibility that we can come to this strong zone at 5660 as well, and above that we will see if we are still going above that, we may get to that 5675 line, the 5684 line, and then to the 5698 to the 5700 areas finally. If we break this area down, there is a good possibility that we will get retested at the 5591, which was a double top breakout area. We will put a line there at this point of time, and if we come below this, then it is highly probable that we will see this 5578 to the 75 area and then keep coming down the levels if we are not bouncing from there. One thing we have to know, the 200 EMA, the hourly EMA, everything is stacked up here, so these areas will also act as very good areas of support when the price wants to come down. So that is the analysis that I have for now. We will be meeting again tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST to look at what happened overnight and then make a plan accordingly. And then based on that plan, we will trade the rest of the day. If any one of you are interested in joining that call, the link to that Google Meet is given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the links to all these multi-time frame charts that we discuss every day. And as always, please like, share and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification icon. I will end the video here today, and I'll see you guys again at 8:45 a.m. EST tomorrow morning. Till then, have a great night, everyone. Bye.